Ramesh, can you explain loops to me?
We use loops for iteration, right? So we want to repeat something again and again. So we say it's iteration. We want to iterate over something, right? Let's see. Would you like to give me a problem
Oh,
that
yeah,
we
come
can
on.
work on?
Okay, so hook me up an LED to port B, bit 16 positive logic. Okay.
Bit 16
Positive logic.
logic.
Hook up an LED.
And we want the LED.
Okay, so I want you now flash it. Okay.
Okay.
But I'm going to give you a variable called n, and I want you to flash it n times
Flash.
such that it flashes toggles. I'm sorry. I want you to toggle n times and toggle it. I don't know what's a good number. Half a second.
Okay.
Every half second.
Every half second.
Yeah, there you go. Make that happen.
Right? That's what the problem we want to solve.
So there's the loop. I'm going to do it n times.
Yeah, because that's the loop. The idea that I'm going to repeat it n times. That's what that's where our iteration is coming.
Got it.
Right. So let's think of how to solve this problem, and let's just write a way of doing it. So I know I want to iterate for n times. So let's say I have a counter of some kind, and I set the count to count to 0 to start with, right?
Okay.
And I'm going to count up all the way to n, right? So I'm going to set that to count to 0, and then I'm going to write my loop in which I'm going to say, because you could even count could be 0, right?
I mean, n could be 0.
N could be 0. So I can ask, is count equal to n? And if the answer is yes, then I'm done.
I like to be done.
And if it is not, then we'll write a function called toggle. We'll say toggle LED, right? And then we want to wait for a certain amount of time. So that's half a second. So I have a function called delay for delay in milliseconds, and I'm going to pass that number 500, which is delay for half a second.
Now what?
And then I'm going to go back and do that, except I want to make sure that before I go, I want to make sure that I have updated my count. So I'm going to do a count plus plus.
Because you don't want to crash.
And then I'm going to go back, right?
Got it.
So that's what I want to do. So you can identify something here that we wrote. How does this translate to our to our C program, right? So in other words, in this case, maybe this count can be a pretty large number. So I'm going to choose an appropriate type. So I say it's a uint. Let's say it's a uint 16 underscore t, right? I just chose that because I'm not going to go any bigger than that, right? That's my count. So my code says count at some point is equal to 0. That's my step. And then I'm going to write a while statement that says while count is, so this is saying while count is the complementary condition, which is while count is not equal to n, I'm going to do the work. Count is not equal to n, I'm going to do the work that needs to be done. So I'm just choosing the complementary condition to this, right? Complement. And then I do the work, which is basically I'm going to toggle my LED. How do I toggle my LED? You said I have a GPIO B and I have an LED. So I'm going to look at my D out 31 underscore 0. And I am going to try and write this in a single step. So I'm going to do a we're doing a toggle. So we're going to do a toggle of that, and we're going to create a mask by, you said 16th bit, so I'm going to take a 1 and shift it 16 places, and I'm going to toggle it, right? It's a pretty dense statement, but you can parse this by now. So now that we have that, then we're going to call our delay for delay millisecond, which is a function. I'm going to pass it 500, and then I'm going to increment my count plus plus, and then I'm going to go back and check again. Right now, this is the basic idea of a while loop, and I want us to see some essential elements of it. We have an initialization here.
Got it.
We have a check here, a conditional check here. We have the work we want to do, and then we have an update here. Right? Most of the time we will have something like this. Sometimes maybe the update is part of the work, so we don't have to explicitly do it. Maybe the check is on something else other than the one we initialize. But this is a general template we have. Now, when the template falls in such a form, there's a nice little alternative to this, which is the for loop. So we're looking at a while loop. A for loop is a nice alternative to it, where we basically put all of them together. So we say for count equals 0, count is not equal to n, we do a count plus plus. We write all of them in one place. We wrote the initialization, we wrote the check, and we wrote the update, all three in one place, and then we write the body now. So I'm not gonna bother with that here. We just say the body, which is just these 2 lines of code, the body of it, and that's it. We don't have to worry about the update because update is part of this. So the way to kind of think about this is let's trace how this works, right? We come in, we do this first, and we check immediately. We do the body, we do this third, and then we repeat, then check again. That's 4. We do the body, we do that 5, and do this 6, and we keep doing it. That's exactly how this one also works. We start with 1, and we immediately do the check. We do the body if the check fails, right? If the check is true, we do the body, and then we come and we finish the body, we do this, and we do this, and then we do the check again, right? So 3 and then 4. And then we do the body, and then we check again.
So Ramesh, what would happen if n were 0?
So in this example, if n were 0,
what would happen?
If n were 0 to start with, it'll immediately be this. Immediately this condition will be false, and we never get in.
Oh, so you never toggle at all.
We never toggle at all.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
And so one way to also remember this, so a while loop like this may never enter. That's the whole point of performing the check up front, that it's possible that I never even go into the while loop. And that's same thing would be true for the for loop.
So the while loop and the for loop are really the same loop. It's just a different syntax for how you write your 1, 2, 3.
Yes, and there are very few cases where we can't replace one with the other. But again, think about what is more natural to your situation. Use the appropriate loop.